the demo of the Beatles that becomes a classic John Lennon solo song. There are certain incredibly high points in John Lennon's solo career. This songwriter was able to go into the depths of inadequacy and loss while also contributing to the creation of the peace movement's genuine anthem, Imagine. Without mentioning the lovely melody, Jealous Guy sounds like the confession of someone who is afraid of their own shortcomings, thus it may not seem like a successful song at first. That tribute to Yoko Ono, however, has become a permanent fixture in the public eye and an enduring statement of John Lennon's solo work. The Beatles' turbulent life at this period is partly responsible for the song's origins. To pursue their studies with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the Fab Four moved to India. Before Paul McCartney, who was apprehensive, left, Ringo was the first to depart, complaining about the cuisine and wanting home. John Lennon held out alongside his friend George Harrison, who was the driving force for the reflective journey, by choosing to stay. John wrote a number of future hits that would eventually become the White Album during their stay in the ashram, which gave him the opportunity to concentrate on his music. The Drawing Child of Nature was one of them. Drawn during the group's trip with a desire to embrace spirituality, it was recorded in rough form at George Harrison's Esher pad upon their return to the UK. John Lennon put the song on hold because he couldn't quite get the hang of it. Many years later, the tune reappeared along with words discussing his connection with Yoko Ono. John insisted afterward that it was practically a song of jealousy on a highly spiritual, philosophical level. As I do, you have a tendency to feel envious of someone you are in love with and want to possess and own them totally. I love Yoko and want to own her totally, even if intellectually I thought owning someone was a waste of time. I'd rather not smother her. While you find anything while you're young, you want to cling on to it since you had so little otherwise. It usually gets killed because you grab at it so much. The song would climb back up the charts after Lennon's unexpected death in 1980. Brian Ferry chose to cover it, and the Roxy Music singer's flawless whistle solo capped off his moving, lounge-driven performance. However, the initial and the lengthy journey that led to it continue to be undisputed.